Good evening, folks. Hope everybody's having a good day. We're halfway to the weekend now. So tonight we're going to do a little bit of fishing here on Act 2, but there's a spot over here that I've had a little bit of luck on some big head carp, and I've been trying to get, there's supposed to be Caspian roach there, so I'm going to try to get some of those. I've only gotten one so far. But we'll do that tonight, and then starting tomorrow will be the first of the 2 streams for my last Norwegian Sea trip with the gold. Hey Canadian, how's it going? How's your fishing been today? So you get over to the spot. It's right around here, just looking for the algae patch. Here we go. So it's nighttime, so I'm not expecting much right now, though. The action here has generally been during the day. But what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to set up, just as Liza says, we'll wait till daytime to set some more lines up, but I've been trying to have 2 lines set up for Caspian roach and 1 for bighead. Yeah, so tomorrow I'll be starting the stream a little bit early for the first Norwegian Sea stream, and then the night after we'll be starting a bit late. But each of them will be 2.5-hour streams since you get 5 hours out there on the trip. Hopefully we can get some good silver and XP out of that. Tonight's tea is cooling off, but it is a Bavarian wild berry. Where's everybody else fishing at today? It seems like there's been some activity on Amber Lake and Yama. I've been seeing a lot of fish caught out there, and it does seem like there's an active spot for telescopic somewhere on the archipelago right now, because I've been seeing some black whitefish and Ladoga salmon Tele records pop up from out there. I have no clue where it's at. Down fast. Okay, we got our first catch for the night here. What do we got? It's like a nice little big head carp to start things off. Yeah, I saw your video on the Don. It's it breaks my heart to see someone without a telescopic out there. Here we go. I love these big head carp. They're so derpy looking with their eyes below their mouth. Not a bad fish to start off with. So if they're active right now, let's actually, I know the Caspian roach aren't going to be biting that nice. Let's go ahead and change these out to some size 4 hooks. Do I have some more good 4s? And here's one. Yeah, I got that with the larva and nightcrawler. And I was doing some sturgeon fishing in another spot recently, and I did catch a small Russian sturgeon and a small sterlet, but a small Russian sturgeon and a few wild carp, so it wasn't great. Hey Sneaky, you still out there at Ladoga Lake cleaning house, all those trophies you've been getting out there? Taking all of them from 4 mush. Let's get I don't want to use a rage necessarily, but YOLO, I suppose. Yeah. Yep. All set up and ready to go. Looking for crayfish at Winding right now. Good luck there. Hope you can get a nice blue tag crayfish out there. I'll probably spend a lot of time at Winding once I max out bait harvesting to just stock up on mussel and crayfish baits from bait harvesting. Ooh, that's toasty. Someone somewhere just caught a 50-kilo European angler. I bet that's worth a lot of silver. Let's see, do I have any ground bait that could help with this? Let's go ahead and... I was using roach ground bait before, and it would seem like it was helping a little bit. So we'll toss some out there. Now we wait. And for those interested in going after the sturgeon, there's been several trophy sturgeon caught at this spot in the last few days. It's right here on this bend, if you cast out in there, and with the bait people are using have been pretty much mole crickets or cockchafer larvae. I tried cockchafer, mole cricket, and nightcrawler and piece of fish combinations, and what I ended up catching mine on, I actually don't recall. Let's take a look at that. Sturgeon, here we go. It was on just a cockchafer larva by itself, so if you want to go after some sturgeon, it seems to be a pretty good spot for it. My problem is that the bite rate's like super low. Sturgeon's kind of one of those fish where you try to catch one really big one a day, and that where it makes it all worth it. But if you get like I did, where it's not even a marker, it's just a real feels bad, because in an hour I caught that and 3 small wild carp. Not particularly great. Hopefully we can get these big head to start biting pretty quickly here. Got the one so far. Well, I was away for a couple hours there. Does anybody know if Mush ever got his trophy Vindus to knock out his telescopic challenge he's been working on? It's such an obnoxious challenge task to have to complete. It's the most wordy of the challenges. We go here to telescopic. You have to catch a trophy fish weighing at least 500 grams on an ultralight telescopic rod with mono or fluorocarbon line of no more than 1.5 kilo test. It's just so specific, and the problem with it is that a lot of the fish that have trophies in the range of that 500 gram plus, like a Vindus or Ripus, stuff like that, tend to share fishing spots and bait preferences with larger fish. So you end up undoubtedly losing a whole lot of hooks and leaders in the process. You're going to get those bigger ones snapping the line because 1.5 kilo is just not enough. It's kind of an obnoxious challenge. I feel like it should probably be like the final challenge in telescopic. You don't think he has Canadian? Shame. Hopefully he'll get it pretty soon though. One day I'll go back and work on those challenges. But like the problem with them is that they're so specific, and for telescopic, it's basically like going after stuff that's not very profitable, that I'd rather wait till I'm not really needing XP or silver to go back and do them. Big head carp. I've probably got a good bit of the big head telescopic weeklies for the US region now. Let's take a look here. I got 3 of the 5. There's Mush right there. Got one a couple days ago, looks like. Oh, nice crayfish, Sneaky. Already got a trophy. Very nice. You're just breaking in the trophies today, aren't you? Did you get one of the rods that has a lot of the plus skill to the rigs or something? You're just getting lucky. And I'm assuming that was on the Tele. It's getting really lucky. Say, that's like what, your 4th or 5th trophy a day, and all your trophies have been like non-commercial. Like, it's cool to get trophy gibble or crucian carp, but those have gotten so common that like I'm not even phased when I get one of those. But you've been getting like the Ripus and the lake minnow, now a crayfish, stuff like that. Much more uncommon trophies. All right, come on and wake up here, big head carp. When daylight comes out, I'll switch the 2 of the lines back to mayfly and mayfly larvae, try to go after some of those Caspian roach and whatnot. Yeah, so we got the Norwegian sea trip coming up the next 2 streams. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm still not, especially like where I'm at with the rental gear, where I'm just using basic perking. It's kind of boring, but we'll find some ways to liven it up, and hopefully I can get a good bit of silver. My first two trips, I averaged probably around 1,500 silver per trip. I'm hoping to get at least that on this one, so I can put that towards finishing up bait harvesting skill, and also get a few of the tools. I want to get like the multi-tool and the coffee maker. And then any XP will be nice. And I'm actually not going to be hopping on any after tonight's stream until that, so that way I can have happy hour for the trip out there. Hope with that XP gain. So I'm really looking forward to unlocking Yama. It's been very active. People have been getting a lot of salmon out there lately. Recast these sometimes. A little bit of fresh drifting action can wake the fish up. Unfortunately, what I've been finding is that, like, I've got size 4 hooks on here right now, which really kills the bite rate. But if I use anything smaller than a size 4, I seem to just be getting really small non-marker big head carp. So I'd rather have a lower bite rate and get stuff that's actually worth something, since I'm using expensive bait. I'm using those cocksucker larvae that I have to catch with my scoop. Can't buy them with silver. Well, now that you've got the crayfish trophy, is there anything else you're going after out there, Sneaky? You're gonna see some blue tag zebra mussel coming up soon. Unfortunately, it's one of the things I hate about a lot of these spots out here is that nighttime is just dead. Gotcha, Sneaky. Well, hopefully you get another trophy or two before you hit the sack. No, you are able to actually split that up. The first two trips I did, I broke them up into separate days, so you can split it up. It does waste a little bit of time because of boating out to those spots, boating out to the spots, and then fast traveling back and selling your stuff on the first night wastes a good 10-15 minutes, which isn't a lot of time, but yeah, you can split them up into separate days. At least when I did it, it didn't change the use up the tickets when I didn't do it all at one sitting. Now it could have changed since then, and there is I should put a caveat on the plans for the trip to the Norwegian Sea. There is an update to the game tonight, and there's been like no information posted about what the update's going to be. I know there's some stuff that they were working on that they mentioned this summer, like a submarine that you can summon out there that's like basically a mobile tackle shop, and some perch model updates and a few other RAM things like that. But all we know right now is that the game's going down for an update of some sort tonight. So as long as that update doesn't like do something to the Norwegian Sea rental stuff, that's still going to be the plan. Verify that tomorrow. Having bad luck with the shovel here tonight. Sun's coming up, so hopefully we can start getting some more action here. I'm gonna go ahead and swap the outer two lines back down to Caspian Sea stuff. Some size 12 hooks on with mayfly larvae and full-grown mayfly. See people catching a lot of salmon out there at Yama right now. Making me jealous. Get there eventually though. Alright, put this one down to size 12 as well. And occasionally I will catch some small big head carp on these lines as well, so see how it goes. Hydrate time already, you got it. Cheers. All right, so allegedly this is supposed to be good for Caspian Roach, but like I said, when I tried it earlier, after about 2 hours, I caught a bunch of random fish, a lot of big head carp and some stuff like that, but only a single Caspian Roach. So I don't know, I feel like every time I try a spot that's posted on the official Discord, it either doesn't work for me or I get completely different fish. I don't know if anybody else has that experience. There's a Shemaya. Ooh, 93% float fishing. Very nice. Love to see that. Only 7% from completing float now. So what I'll probably do is whenever they get down to the end of their line here, I'll let them float for a little bit and I'll recast them so they can drift again. Some noisy frogs somewhere. I'm hoping we can snag a at least like a 10 kilo silver carp, or not silver carp, but a big head carp. My biggest one yet is only like 6 point something kilo. Posture check. All right, straighten the old back up here. There we go. Been slouching today. All right, come on, fisher, fisher. So the other weird thing about this spot, I said there's just a really wide variety of fish I've been catching, and it seems like the big head carp are more active on the smaller hooks, like by a lot. They're so small. There's no so Shemai are active. I might reevaluate some of my strategies here. If those get active, go switch to some ultralight or something. Those are pretty good XP. Let's go ahead and recast all the lines here. If I don't get anything soon on this this line to set up for bigger big head carp, I'll switch it to a size 12 hook setup as well. I'd like to switch it to like a 1/0 and go after really big head carp, but I just feel like with the bite rate the way it's been, it might be 3 hours before something bites on it. That sturgeon I got was on a 1/0 hook, and it was like a 4 point something kilo. Feels like a chub. What is it? Yeah. Chub are one of the few fish. Them and lake trout are two species that will run with the line on a telescopic, whereas other ones that traditionally on other tackle types won't really run with it. Those two absolutely do. Another shovel action here. Hopefully get some more larvae. Oop, just worms. Terrible. I know, what's everybody's opinion on the success rate on scoops and shovels with all your with 6 points invested, so the skills are maxed out? Like, you know, even though these are technically like otherwise gold only baits, I feel like either the success rate could be boosted for them, or the amount that you get on a successful scoop could be boosted a little bit. What everybody else's thoughts is on that. There's a perch. Like, I don't necessarily think that if they stayed with the current success rate that they have right now, like, all I'm asking is instead of getting like 1 or 2 at a time, mostly 1, give us like 3 or 4. I think that's reasonable. Let's hope we got a nice big head carp biting here on line 2 right now. Missed what was over on that. Picked up the wrong rod by accident. Take the line. Very aggressive biter there. Just doesn't want to commit. No. Come on. Takes a lot of patience for these kind of nibbles. Go. All right, here we go. This might be a decent little big head carp on the line. Oh yeah, here we go. It might be like another 6 kilo, 7 kilo. Maybe not. Only 5.3. Well, still decent. Yeah, I agree, Kade. Like especially for having the points invested in it, like maybe make it so that I'd even be a proponent of like just make it linear. So if you have 0 points invested, if you get 1, you get 1, and then for each skill point invested, add 1 to the amount you get. So if you have all your points invested, you'll get 4 of the 8 when you scoop it up. I think that'd be perfectly reasonable. I mean, especially because baits, like, they can catch such worthless fish that yeah, I agree. I mean, it's definitely one of their, and I don't fault them too much. They are, I've mentioned this a lot of times on past streams, like this game is very generous with the free-to-play aspect. Like, really, like, it can be, the leveling can be very slow if you don't get premium, but otherwise, like, not fine, like, you really don't need to put money into it to catch stuff. Where you compare just a lot of other games like Fishing Planet or The Fisher Online, like, you'll be hard restricted from going after certain fish if you don't pay money. So I don't blame them for like having the gold bait. That's probably like a reliable income stream for them on the game. But I don't know, I just feel like if you're investing the points into it, you should get it could be a little bit better. Or at the very least, they could make it so that the bait like only targets high value fish, because that's kind of the problem is you get something like a cockchafer larva and there's like, yeah, sure, you might get like you can use them to target sturgeon, but at the same time, you might get like a rough biting on there and eating your expensive / rare bait. That's more where I have a problem with it. If I could get like, if I could weed out the worthless fish while using them, I wouldn't have as big a problem with it. Got another bite. Something small. What do we got? Looks like another little tiny chub here. We've got a 5-kilo grass carp so far, so let's hope hope that number keeps going up and make it all the way to a 10-kilo. I don't start seeing better fish on the size 12 hooks. I may just switch them all back to size 4 and go all in on trying to get a large, big head carp. Maybe even go size 1 or a 1/0. Who knows? I'd be interested to see like the numbers with RF4's income streams, like if they how much of their money is made off of selling those gold baits versus like premium subscriptions or people just buying like expensive rods and stuff like that. I've also got to assume that there's probably a market out there for people that, which an against the rules market, I don't suggest engaging in this kind of behavior. I'm sure there are bot farms that have the bait harvesting at 100% and just run all day to get those baits and sell them online. I assume that's probably a thing. Which, I mean, when you have a system that's super grindy like this, that's inevitably what's going to happen. All right, take it easy, Sneaky. Hope you have some more luck with those trophies tomorrow. Hopefully, with you hopping off, maybe now Mush can finally get his trophy Vindus. some of the trophy luck you've been having today will rub off on some other people. Have a good one. All right, let's switch all these to 1/0, see if we can get a nice big head carp here. I'm gonna kill the bite rate, but it'll be worth it if we get a nice chunky boy. And he's been working hard on that. I think this is his 3rd day trying to get that Vindus. The poor dude got it was like 2 weeks ago, he got that blue tag Vindus out there, but that was on a non-ultralight. Now he just can't get a trophy Vindus to save his life. What are you going after out there at the at Seversky Donis, Canadian? Are you out there proving that it's a carp river? And I keep seeing these salmon come up. Wishing I had Yama right now, I tell you. Nice. I wonder if I've got the roach ground bait out there. I'm gonna throw Bring Mix as well, since that got, I think, bloodworms or maggots in it. See if that helps the bite rate at all. Going for the trophy donuts. Very nice. Definitely a good place to do it. Aptly named, I would say. I feel like when you're going for these big fish with low bite rate on telescopic, or I guess float in general, like the big difference that I can see why more people don't enjoy doing it versus bottom fishing is that if you have bottom rods, you can just throw them out there and go walk away. You can go watch some other videos, play another game on another screen, something like that. Not a big deal. When you hear the alarms going off, you can switch over and catch them. But with float fishing, you've got to just sit here and watch it the whole time. So when you're going after stuff with a really low bite rate, like sturgeon or things of that nature, it's certainly not exciting. It feels more rewarding when you do get one, in my opinion. But definitely have to have the patience for it. Which is nice for something like this. I can chat with my viewers and things of that nature when I'm not streaming. If it's not a super active spot, like you get some of the spots where you're catching 2 fish a minute, then I have to have a video on or something that I keep in front of the monitor that I can still keep an eye on the floats, but I'll just put a tablet in front of the monitor and do that because it is not particularly exciting. Hydrate again. Alrighty. Cheers. You think you'll be going back out there to Yama in the near future, Canadian, with all the salmon action people have been getting out there right now? That one up too soon, I think. Go ahead and recast it. Having some rotten luck right now. I was doing okay earlier, getting a good bit of the larva and mole crickets. But anything right now. Yama is your for you. Yama is Balaya and Tuba for me. All right, come on, big head carp. Wonder how many hotspots are going to be reworked through the update tonight. I should say reworked, but reset. Part of me still secretly hoping that they're going to surprise us with marine fishing with telescopic as part of the update. Sure, that won't be the case, but a man can dream, though. Man can dream. What do you expect for the update, Canadian? I'm assuming at the very least it's going to be the new perch models in the submarine, but here's what else. Oh, I didn't know about that about the Bear Lake remake. That'd be interesting to see. Hopefully, along with the patch notes for it, we'll get some more direction on what their plans are for the remainder of the year. Because I know they've hinted at wanting to do a second map sometime later this year, and obviously eventually fly fishing. But the news on that's been kind of quiet. Yeah, I agree. It's probably just the perch and the submarine, and maybe some like price adjustments on some stuff, but. See, I'm hoping if that's all it is, that it at least also comes with a, by the way, here's what's in the pipeline and an estimate of when we expect to have these introduced to the game. I'll say the last round of price updates they did was really nice for early game and telescopic, like the Donits for something, for example, almost all the fish out there got a boost in value. So I think that's really neat. I really think they need to revisit a lot of fish prices because the divide between Norwegian Sea and everything else is so drastic now that, like, if you have access to the sea, even if you don't enjoy doing the sea, it's hard to justify not doing it when you need silver. That'd be nice. I'd use those coins for some expensive telescopic rods. Yeah, I think that's definitely something they need to work on. It is getting a little bit of that. Obviously, the sea needs to be like the top end. Like you should be able to make the most money at the sea, but it's the difference is like you can consistently get over 1,000 silver an hour at the sea versus everywhere else. Like generally, other than like rare super hotspot days or luck, is generally around like 400 silver per day or per hour at the high end. So narrowing that gap would be useful. I still think they need to rework cafe orders to include XP as well to make them more rewarding. But I feel like trying to specifically target stuff for a cafe order outside of Norway is pointless. If you happen to get some stuff that works, great. But if they add in a decent bit of XP for completing orders as well, I think that would encourage people to do the cafe orders more. Go ahead and recast all these. Yeah, that would be definitely a nice surprise for sure there. A sneak peek at the new map and fly fishing and all that. But I mean, even if it's even outside, I think it'd be great if they give just an update on how the development of those is going. I definitely hope that if they release fly fishing, that it also comes with a fly tying skill. With this bite rate, let me tell you. Typical Act Tuba luck for me here, right? Yeah, I'll be all in on fly fishing if they make it well. I can justify using that kind of reel. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and switch these lines back to the size 12 small fish setups because the big head carp are not cooperating clearly. See, this is the kind of luck I have at Ectube. Every time, if it's an allegedly active spot, I find no evidence of it. Just put all these on a small setup so we can get a few more fish in here. So you're gonna be streaming tonight after this, Canadian? Gotcha. Yeah, all the preparation for that, I can imagine just getting all those. Appreciate the bits there, Wisdom. Common Barbell competition, 4th and 8th. All right, all right. Let's see. So which so Wisdom, are you saying you want to run one of those, or are you or is there one of those going on right now, or did you place that in that? Appreciate the bits though. There we go. Yeah, barbell is definitely a fun one to go after. The Shemaya. Take a look at that. Competitions. Let's see one right now. You say you want me to host a barbell competition there, Wisdom? Let me scroll, make sure I didn't miss a message here. They seem to be cleaning up out there at Yama today. Oh, forum competition coming up. Okay, I'll look into that. I know that is that the junior one, or is that the we got the Saturday and Sunday junior one for level 1 to 25. Is it that one, or is there a different forum competition they're doing for the barbell? Might be a fun one to try out. Getting some nibbles on that line. Yep, I'll wait to scoop. Yeah, I agree, Canadian. Like, someone did say that sometimes those competitions they've been able to join if they were Steam players, but yeah, it is frustrating that those are primarily only for non-Steam accounts. Which, I mean, you can migrate your account over from Steam, but it seems to be a bit of a pain. All right, good to know, Wisdom. So yeah, everyone, if there is a common barbell competition from the forum for the U.S. region, U.S. other, and I guess that's Italy region, Italian region, and it's okay. So it's for both Steam and standalone. All right, well there you go. If you're looking for a good little barbell competition, those are fun fish to try to target as well, especially on telescopic. Use some like cheese or dough combinations usually works pretty well for them. What's going on? What 2 there? Weird bite pattern on that. There we go. Still no Caspian roach, even though this is supposed to be a good spot for them. Yeah, that definitely makes sense, Canadian. If you have any sort of customer service issues, it can be a problem. And there's certainly also the convenience factor of going through Steam and having it all linked on there, one easy place to deal with it. But it would be nice for them to update their infrastructure at some point so that they're more of their competitions like that. This barbell competition apparently is for Steam and standalone accounts, which is nice. I know like those junior tournaments are standalone only. But we've talked about this on past streams. Like, I'd love to just see the overall competition structure in the game updated. Like, the way Fishing Planet does it is great for both player hosted and the official tournaments. They have like automated tournaments all the time that are handled really well. And then with your player hosting a tournament, you get a lot of control over it. You don't have to like be online the whole time or at that map while the tournament is being hosted. Whereas on here, if one of us wants to host a tournament, you have to be at that body of water and online the whole time that tournament is going on, and you have to participate in the tournament technically. You can just not catch the stuff, but I wish it was more like the fishing plant ones where you can just set up that stuff and people can log in. Like a great would be like, oh, I want to set a date range. So from October 5th to October 7th, I want to give players the ability to hop on, go to this lake, and have 24 hours in game to participate in the tournament. That way, if you're in different time zones and stuff like that, it's not an issue. I just keep seeing these salmon people catching over at Yama. I'm so jealous. We'll get there soon. Hopefully they don't catch all the salmon out of the river before we get there. It's that one. Yeah, so again, for tomorrow and Friday, I will be doing the a two-part Norwegian Sea trip stream. So it'll be 2.5 hours each. And that's still for the if that's global, that's really good positioning wisdom. That's rats on those positions. Plus, if they're global and they include the China region, we all know those China region waters have bigger fish, so you can place well against them. You're doing great. Honestly, my assumption, just jokes aside, I assume there's like a something similar to, like, a lot of us use VK, which is a Russian site, to get a lot of hotspot information for the game. And my assumption is that there's something similar to that for Chinese players that we just don't have or don't know of an English equivalent to. So they're probably just doing really well communicating with each other through that, and it's more active than like BK or the RF4 official Discord. I assume that's probably why we see so much more trophy fish action and stuff like that out of the Chinese region players. Aggressive nibbler here. Okay. Another small one. It's like a citral. Not doing too bad. Got 15 fish so far. Would have more if I didn't try to target large big head carp, but couldn't resist the urge. Nope, that's what mine wants. Bit while I was sipping some tea. I think probably since I'm doing the Norwegian Sea this week, towards next weekend, I'll probably do another little competition stream. Hydrate time, you got it. Cheers. And we'll try one of the later level lakes this time. We've done Mosquito and Winding so far. Okay, here we go. A little bit of fight on this big head. So maybe we'll do like oh, there we go, almost 6.5 kilo there. biggest one tonight so far. Maybe we'll do Oldberg or something like that for our next competition. And I still like, I think I'm all my competitions for the time being are probably going to continue to be the common roach, the telescopic species competition, because I think that's a really, to me, it's a fun way to learn the map, learn the telescopic rods, and helps reduce the amount of RNG and that factors into the placement of the competition. Because when you go by fish size, like there are things you can do with like hook sizes and stuff like that that can try and target larger fish or more fish, but it's ultimately RNG, just as we saw, like our biggest big head carp tonight has been on a size 12 hook, whereas we were getting smaller ones on a size 4. Like there's so much RNG with number of fish or size of fish that I just think that different species caught is the most player skill based. Hey, finally got a Caspian roach, not a very big one. Got one at least. I think it's the most player skill based way to do the competitions. What do you guys think? You think Oldberg would be a good candidate for the next one, or everyone think of a different spot? I feel like Oldberg is going because there's a wide variety of species you can go after there, and it's not like super high level. I would say Volkov, but Volkov has been so dead for so long now that it's a vaporware map at this point. Yeah, Donis would be a really good one. My only concern with Donis is that there may be some players that are pretty low a level, because it's like what, level 22 or 23 that Donis is unlocked. So we'll gauge it, I guess. We'll take some polls a couple days leading up to the competition to get an idea of like what level people that are interested in participating are at. And if they all have Donis unlocked, and I agree, I think Donis would be a much better one. But if they're still lower level players, like in the upper teens or something like that, and go with the old Oldberg. There you go. I just saw the forum challenge for that barbell competition announcement come up in the chat there. Only one Caspian roach. It's the same thing as last time. As it's supposed to be a Caspian roach spot right now, but I see no evidence of it. Sun's starting to set. Spot will be dead again. If there's any blue bream spot active right now that I can go after during the night. Come on, take the hook. There you go. Another citral. The barbel got off. That's a shame. This fish get away, man. You gotta be nicer to them when you bring them in. I missed it. That's one thing that is nice about telescopic, is that it's very rare to get fish got away. Although I did have a weird case the other day where I got like 2 fish got away in a row on telescopic, which is very strange, but Yeah, it's interesting to see how like different the way the fish fight with telescopic versus other casting types. Like eel, for example, everyone talks about how eel fight really hard. Granted, the biggest eel I got was only like 3.6, 3.7 kilo. But I mean, I just pulled it right up with my telescopic. There was no fight to it at all. But then something like a chub or a lake trout, they'll run with the. Oh, did he? Oh, man, poor guy is just he is having some rotten luck trying to get that trophy Ventus to knock that challenge out. But you know that I think that's where I had the issue as well, was at Ladoga Lake, where I got two back-to-back FGAs on Tele. So maybe there's just something going on with the water there. Who knows? Yeah, I guess that's also the other thing is he's using the ultralight tackle, so if he does get a trophy Venus on there, there's actually going to be a little bit of a fight to bring it in. So that's really the determining factor, I guess, is realistically why FGA is so rare on telescopic, is that you're only fighting the fish for like 10 seconds at most. But if you've got one of those big ones on ultralight where you're kind of having to go back and forth, that extra time can definitely make an FGA more plausible. Makes sense. Go ahead and recast all of these. The rods have gotten all crooked on me. What's funny is the one time I had an FGA on a fish when it was up out of the water. I was over at the docks on Seversky and pulling it up out of there, and it just kind of fell off in the air into the water and swam off. Like, all right, guess that works. And that fish is going to be free. And as they say, if you love them, let them go. I let them go. Come on, give me some lucky scoop action here. Come on, give me the energy. Let's see, how many mole crickets have I gotten since I unlocked it? A whopping 7 of them, to show how rare they are. And I'm basically like, every time I'm fishing, as soon as I have the energy, as seen on here, I'm scooping. So they are ridiculously rare. There's probably like 1 in probably 50 or 60 scoops gets you a mole cricket. Yeah, I've got all the skill points invested in bait harvesting, and it's still like it. I guess I hate to see what it's like if you don't have the skill points, but even with all the points in, it's rarer than I'd like it to be. We have here another small big head carp. Yep. It's a little over 2 kilo though. Hey, you got a trophy rough Canadian. Now just slap a Donut sticker on it and pretend that'll be your trophy Donuts, right? I mean, technically, it's a rough cut on the Donitz River, so doesn't that make it a Donitz rough by default? I think he got robbed. In my opinion, that makes it a Donitz rough. In my heart, it's a Donitz rough. Light nibbler here on 2. Still nibbling. Still nibbling. Come on now. There we go. What we got? Looks like another common roach, probably. Oh no, another Caspian. I think, wasn't the last one 150 grams as well? Take a look at that. We have 2 of the exact same size here. Oh no, the other was 170 gram. Close though. Well, they are killing it over there at Yama. Anyone in the chat out there at Yama right now pulling in these salmon left and right? Mm. You know, another update I'd love to see them add, Canadian, is just let us put the telescopic rods in the the rod holders on the boats. There's so many locations where it's a lot of fun to fish them with telescopic, but only being able to have one rod out is just brutal. Like if we look on this map, for example, being able to fish some of these deeper holes out here would be great, but if you only have one rod, your bite rate is just murdered. We got a ad break coming up in about 10 seconds here. It's just to prevent pre-roll ads. And keep on fishing through. Subscribers, appreciate the support as always. No ads for you guys. You know, the subject of ads, something that I don't know how many people remember these days, but in the early 2000s, the big thing was banner advertising. So instead of having like video ads and stuff like that, if you're using like a browser game or a website or something like that, similar to like blog ads you'll see today, but not as obstructing, we would just usually have like a banner across the top or bottom of the screen that would rotate between advertisements for different things that you could click on the site. And so they were really unobtrusive. There wasn't sound associated with them. They were very effective. And I think they were a great option. I don't know why all these providers have gone away with that, because on my mind, if I'm an advertiser paying for an ad on a service, I would rather have the unobtrusive ad because it costs less. I don't have to pay for video or anything like that. And I feel like you're going to get a better response because there's so many people that are just so like, I'm at the point where there's a lot of products that if I'm getting inundated with ads by that product, I'll go out of my way to avoid getting that product because I'm like, you're obstructing so much of my experience of something. And I know there's a lot of people that feel the same way. So I don't know why banner advertisements don't make a comeback. Like here on Twitch, instead of like right now, viewers being that aren't subscribers being subject to a video ad that just takes over the sound. Why is it not just an ad over the top of the video player for the duration that doesn't have sound and gets the ad across, tells us what it's advertising and all that. That style of ad needs to come back. See, so it looks like another thing I need to think about doing before I go to the sea tomorrow is picking up some more cucumbers and making another batch of pickles there. Running low. How are we going to survive without pickles? As far as that common barbell competition, I'll take a look at the what time that is tonight and on the 8th and see if I'm able to make either of those, because it'd be fun to participate in. See, Strix got a trophy rough there. What are your thoughts on banner advertisements versus today's video advertisements, Canadian? Oh, nighttime, never any fish biting. Yeah, it's at least I remember there was an issue a couple years ago on YouTube specifically where they were people were putting like, hey, random harvesting bait skill gain there off of some worms. I'll take it. But there was an issue where people were getting like these like 2-hour videos as advertisements, and occasionally like I'd have some music or something playing on a tablet while I was washing dishes or something along those lines. And one of those advertisements would hit, and I'm like, well, crap, I gotta like stop what I'm doing to go skip that because it's a freaking 2-hour advertisement. So at least they seem to have like weeded those out. But yeah, like I hate the video advertisements, especially with taking over the sound. Like I think that's like Twitch is especially bad about that. They need, if they want to like put your video off to the side and make their advertisement the main focus and everything, that's fine, but don't take over the sound, because like what you're ultimately going to have, you're pushing viewers to either leave the channel or use ad blockers, stuff like that. Whereas if the ads aren't obtrusive, people are going to just let the ad do its thing and sometimes even be more apt to check it out. What do we got on here? Something tiny. Here's a chub. Yeah, I mean that's definitely one of the strategies they'll do is do it in a way to push you to get a subscription, but I feel like ultimately all that's really doing is pushing people away from the platforms in general. Like YouTube is an example. I mean, there's other reasons, but competitive platforms such as Rumble are gaining a lot of viewers. In the case of Rumble, there's political reasons a lot of people are going to Rumble instead of YouTube, but also a lot of people just like the ad structure and everything better. And like this like hostage situation of these ads is ridiculous. Yep. And what's also crazy to me, I don't even know how they have their contracts to make this legal, but like using YouTube as an example, if you have a demonetized channel or a demonetized video, certain YouTube platforms, like if you're on YouTube mobile, for example, will still run ads for that video or that channel, but the content creator doesn't get their contractual share of that ad because they're demonetized. Like that's where I'm just like that seems like if a lawyer wanted to go after them, they probably could make a case there. At the very least, if a content creator is not able to get any of the share, then their ads shouldn't, or their videos shouldn't have ads. Now we've got more and more streaming services doing what Hulu kind of pioneered back in the day, suckering people into paying for a subscription streaming service, but still getting advertisements. Come on, take the hook. I think we got another big head on the line here. Yep. You're like a 1.5, 2 kilo big head. 2 kilo. In that scenario, they probably couldn't make a case because the argument would be made there, Canadian, that it's not like YouTube's responsibility for lifestyles. Now that is an issue with things like if you're on an emergency services call, calling 911 or something like that. There are cases you can make where if they disconnect you or something like that, and while you're trying to get someone help, something like that can get a lawsuit. But not being able to access a how-to video on YouTube, unfortunately, they're not going to do anything about that. But I think for content creators, there's definitely something that can be said for running ads on demonetized content and those content creators, or even for that matter, if you're a small channel that doesn't have enough subscribers to reach I think it's a partner is the first level at YouTube, whereas partners like the higher level on Twitch. But if you're not a monetized channel at all, I don't think your videos should be having ads run on them. In my opinion, if YouTube is generating revenue off of your content, you should be entitled to a share, even if it's like very small. Like if you haven't reached partner level, like okay, well you're a channel with no subscribers, but you've got a channel that got a bunch of views and they all had ads. Here's like 10 cents for your million views on that channel. Fine, at least it's something. At least it's a share of the revenue. I guess boomers like me, coming from an old era, we remember a time before all these current structures with streaming services and stuff like that, where it really wasn't the case, and it wasn't like just ads and stuff shoved down your throat everywhere you go. I'll be interested to see like the younger generation now, like they haven't even known a world where that wasn't the case, so they don't have the experience to relate it to. Yeah, I remember that with Hulu back in the day. I was like, okay, well, there was a show that was on Hulu but wasn't on anything on any of the other streaming services, which at the time was basically the only other streaming service. I wanted to watch that show, and I wanted to watch it on one of my consoles hooked up to my TV, because at that time you had to have the paid subscription for Hulu to use it on the consoles. So like, okay, I'll do that. I'll sign up for the trial and see how it works out. And I started the video, and an advertisement played, and I immediately just canceled my trial and never went back. I'm like, okay, if I'm paying you, if there's a free version that's supplemented by advertisements, and you have a premium version that you pay a subscription for, sorry, that premium one shouldn't have ads. That's what you're paying for. Yeah, I mean, TV was its own beast for sure with advertising. Although I will say, like, especially in the 90s, I kind of, at least as a kid, didn't mind advertising because on TV, because they were usually fun and cool ads. Like, advertisers were just, that was the goal, was get the person's attention, make like some funny, or in a 90s term, radical videos. So the ads were just kind of fun. I didn't mind it so much then, but certainly in the mid 2000s and later, like, advertisements on TV are as lame and dry as they are on online services now, where nobody cares about them and wants to see them. Kind of like Super Bowls, like, that used to be the big thing with the Super Bowl. If you weren't into football, you'd still watch the Super Bowl because there's always fantastic advertisements. And that's definitely not the case anymore. They are dumb, boring advertisements. You have a big head carp there. You took that line quick. Missed it. All right, let's give it about 10 more minutes and we'll go cash these fish out. Cast this line again to I hear you there, Canadian. Yeah, I mean, the old days, man, like, Super Bowl commercials were fantastic. It was like, there was basically like, you had the halftime shows were always really good. Then for the sports fans, obviously the game itself was great, but then the commercials were the reason to tune in. Oh yeah, I guess nowadays they're definitely crazy with how many ads they pack in there. And, you know, some of it's also like the cost to produce stuff now too. I knew as soon as Netflix started getting into the business of producing their own original content, whether it's movies or original series, I immediately sold my Netflix stock and lost faith in them, because I'm like, at the end of the day, if you're a streaming provider and you're producing your own content and you're not releasing physical media of that content, which is a big problem with Netflix, then literally the only way you can fund these projects is to continually increase the cost of the subscription, which is exactly what they've done. And as exactly what we're seeing now, the subscription numbers keep dwindling, and they finally started getting quarters where they've actually lost more subscribers than they ended the quarter with less subscribers than they started with. So they're actually losing subscribers now, because you can only raise the cost of that subscription so far before people are like, okay, it's not worth it anymore. And so back when Netflix's business model was just buying streaming rights to existing properties, which is so much cheaper, it was a more sound business model, because that cost was pretty fixed and they didn't have to worry about it too much. So, and is going to be a growing issue with streaming providers. Getting common roaches, but those Caspian roaches still evading us. Like me, I've got out of pretty much all the stream, like I have Amazon Prime, but that's really only because I also use the shipping services of Amazon Prime. They just, I'm a fan of like old movies and stuff like that, and writers just don't, the streaming services just don't buy those existing property leases anymore. Hey, there's a decent Caspian roach, almost 400 gram. Get this in time. Got it. A little chub, it looks like. All right, a few more minutes. We'll go cash these fish in. And the crazy thing to me with Netflix not doing physical media releases, like essentially the video equivalent of print on demand is very basic now, very simple and cheap nowadays. Like I don't understand why for their original content they don't be like, oh, do you want to buy this on DVD or Blu-ray? Here you go. Here's the cost. We'll get it printed on there for you for a fraction of a cent, pretty much, and ship it your way. They'd make additional revenue that way, and like I know their idea is like, well, if we keep it locked to requiring the subscription, that's going to keep people subscribed. But like, no, it just makes people just say, okay, well, I don't care enough. I'm just not going to subscribe for it, or they pirate it. There's quite a few series on Netflix I would love to get to, and movies of their original content that if I could order a DVD or Blu-ray to support Netflix's production of it, I would in a heartbeat. Just refuse to do it. There's Citra there. That last Caspian there was a telescopic weekly, so that's nice. So let's save the scoop here since we're about to ready to cash these in, save it for our end of stream scooping. There you go. This puts us at an even 35 fish. I think it's a good time to go cash these out. A tiny perch, not a great fish to end on. Alright, let's head back to the town. Ooh, someone caught a 7-kilo broad whitefish on telescopic out of Tunguska just now. A whopper right there. All right, let's check the cafe, see if we got lucky and have anything we can turn in there. Yes, we can do this one. All right, so it's 24.57. I'm sure this is going to be less than that, so let's go ahead and sell that. There's almost 25 silver right off the bat. I only had 2 of the 3 chub. That's a shame. That's the only one. All right. What do we got in our net here? I'm going to guess 143. 143 silver worth of fishing here is my... One of those have a good guess. I think it's going to mostly be saved by those 2 over 5-kilo big head carp. All right, let's go ahead and get these cashed out. Let's see what we make. So it was about a little under an hour and a half out here, with a good bit of that kind of wasted trying to go after a large carp with too big a hook, but we've got 100, yeah, 180. Okay, well, the total was 130. We both overshot it. But I mean, that's not bad. That plus the cafe order was about 170 silver, so it wasn't a great hour, but comes out to about what, 80 or 90 silver an hour, up for an hour and a half there. Not too shabby. Anything that can turn into fish bait here. You. And you. Just 2 fish pieces from this one. All right. Yeah, my strategy now is that if I can turn something into pieces of fish and it's worth less than 2 silver, I'm just going to do that because I can usually pieces of fish will get me a fish worth at least 2 silver. I'm using it. Here we go. All right, let's get our end of the stream scoop here. Hope for some good luck. Come on. Oh, we got a cockchafer larva. That's pretty good luck there. Give everyone some trophy action. We'll go ahead and wrap things up there tonight. So, as a reminder, going the next few days here, we've got tomorrow. I'll be starting the stream about an hour earlier than usual. It'll be a 2.5 hour stream for part 1 of the Norwegian Sea trip. And then the night after tomorrow, the stream's going to start pretty late. If it ends up, I've got some evening plans. If it ends up being too late, I'll probably move the stream to early Saturday afternoon. But those will be the 2 Norwegian Sea streams. And then Sunday, be sure to check in on Canadian Way's Twitch. He'll be doing his YouTube 500 follower special on Twitch on Sunday. He's going to have some raffle giveaways and stuff like that. So be sure to give him a follow and check that out. But with that said, we'll go ahead and wrap things up here. It was not a bad day. Got some good carp out of it. Hope everyone has some good luck fishing. Keep up the trophy action we've been seeing today. Lots of trophies going around. Have a good one, and I'll catch you next time, folks. Take it easy.